voices shouting through the night. Static hum that shakes the ground. Rift Nation rising loud, profound. Feel the fire, feel the fight. We're the shadows in the night. Crashing waves, we take the stage. Unleash the fury, turn the page. Steel strings scream the truth we bring. Echoed chaos, hearts that sting. Electric veins that feed the roar. Harder, faster, crave for more. Dust and sparks ignite the air. Shattered silence, do we dare? Tidal force, relentless stream. We're the edge, we're the dream. Feel the fire, feel the fight. We're the shadows in the night. Crashing waves, we take the stage. Unleash the fury, turn the page. Rift Nation, hold the line. In the chaos, we align. Through the storm, through the pain, we're the anthem in your veins. Feel the fire, feel the fight. We're the shadows in the night. Crashing waves, we take the stage. Unleash the fury, turn the page. Rift Nation, hold the line. In the chaos, we align. Through the storm, through the pain, we're the anthem in your veins.
The engine is starting up.
For launch, GC, go. Guidance, go. Fido, go. Prop, go. GNC, go. Max,
Go.
Eagle, go. Ecom.
Go pending final steps to cabin link check.
2, 1.
Is there anyone here that would like to communicate with us? Can you give us a sign?
Welcome to the Rift Nation Network, the Rnn, putting a slide in your glide and a dip in your hip. Welcome to the mothership, the home of the travelers of the universe. With shows throughout the week, you can find us at Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and more. Everything you could want, everything you can need right here, right now. From the paranormal to the supernatural. From comedy to the spiritual. And now, your featured show. Shall we begin?
It's showtime, folks!
Podcast may contain material that some listeners may find sensitive, offensive, or disturbing. We strive to create respectful and informative content, but topics discussed may include mature themes such as violence, explicit language, or controversial subjects, triggering content including discussions related to mental health, trauma, or other sensitive issues, explicit language. Occasionally, our guests or hosts may use strong language. While we aim to handle these topics with care and empathy, we encourage listeners to exercise discretion. If you find any content distressing, consider skipping or seeking support. Remember that this podcast is not a substitute for professional advice. If you need assistance, please consult a qualified expert.
Beacon in the dark for you. Reach out, grab that spark. Wisdom waits in silent hues. Find your path out of the dark. Thursday night, the time is near. Guidance shines at 9:30. Eastern winds will draw you here. Heart
Well, hello, everybody, and how are you doing this fine and fantastic Thursday? I'm Susan.
And I'm Renee.
So, I just want to say, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow to all of the Rift Nation Network channels. It's just an awesome place to be, and definitely going to go off to my usual today and going to be talking about paranormal, some experiences, of course. I know I've had, I know Renee's had, and I think she also had an announcement coming up or something. There was something about the Conjuring House or something.
Yes, that was supposed to go up for auction on Halloween. Somebody bought the debt, so they
Okay.
took it off of the auction. And Jason Hawes of Taps has a GoFundMe that he's matching to buy the house when it does come up for auction.
Nice. That's very
So
nice.
they didn't buy the house, they just bought the debt from the bank.
That's why he has the GoFundMe. All right. I seen the GoFundMe and I wasn't really sure. But
Yeah, and
hello, Miss Nikki. Oh, excuse me. How you doing today? Yep. So we're gonna fall a little bit off topic today and talk about paranormal and, of course, paranormal experiences because what's coming up? All Hallows Eve, Samhain, Shamahain, the Day of the Dead. The veil is thinning. The ghosts are coming. It's the only way I can think of it right now. So there's definitely a lot of
it's
stuff
on me.
actually coming. So a lot of spooky.
I had an experience at the Paracon I went to on the 4th.
No way.
Yeah, on the 3rd,
Yeah.
me and Jim went and set up my booth,
Yep.
and both of our hands was clean. We hadn't been working on cars. You know me, I work on
Yeah.
cars and get my hands heavy, greasy, dirty, and Jim does too.
Yeah.
Well, it was at the Rock Island Old YMCA Roadhouse
Yep.
Expo this weekend.
Yep.
I get home from setting up on the 3rd, and I had a man's handprint on my arm just below my elbow of, like, I don't know, like a gear grease or like they'd been really working on a motor.
Wow. So you had a ghost mechanic.
Mechanic. Well, it used to be the old YMCA here in Rock Island.
Yeah.
So it
Wow.
could have been some kind of a machinery kind of thing, or
It could have been.
you never know. I didn't feel nothing. Nobody gripped my arm, but it was
Huh.
like, you know, when you grab someone's arm to stop them from doing something or leaving
Yeah.
right below the elbow.
You just had a blue light twice
No,
behind
that
you.
was Jim.
No, there's a blue light.
No, that's me.
No, that's Jim.
Okay. All right. I seen a blue light. I'm saying, oh
But
my
yeah,
goodness, there's that blue light. That's pretty awesome.
and there was a big man hand on my arm, handprint,
Wow.
greasy handprint. And I'm walking through the house and I'm going, well, how in the world did I get that?
Wow.
Because you grabbed me there. That's fighting words, man. I'll just turn out, you know.
Wow. Yeah. There's a lot of like activity over here because I do readings and stuff, but
Yeah.
I have activity on a regular basis, but I also live in an elderly disabled complex. A lot of people pass here. So there's constant activity.
Well,
So
it's
huh?
not just passing. A lot of people don't have a choice in the moving places like yours.
Yeah. So,
Family
but
will
there's
put
a
them
lot of
there, whatever.
individuals that pass. So in order to guard, say, an apartment, it's I think it's important, and again, you might have another technique, but I like to put up a grid, which is the black tourmaline and the selenite sticks. I make a grid like on the doors, the windows. I grid the house to try to keep the activity only to the positive that do come in, and of course, sage on a regular basis. But what would you suggest for someone like that?
I was raised just tell them don't touch you. They don't have a choice. They cannot touch you when you tell them that.
Yeah.
Do not touch me or mine, and we'll get along.
Oh, I'm here, Ed says. Hi, Ed. Oh, hi, Jake. That's my
Hi,
kid who
Howie.
makes me cinnamon rolls. That's my son.
Oh, that's what I'm doing tomorrow.
Cinnamon rolls?
Cinnamon rolls. I've
Yeah.
got my dough in the refrigerator proofing till in the morning.
What is the youngest? And again, let's talk both of us. What is the youngest experience you had with spirits?
That's hard to say. I've always, even when I was a baby.
Wow. You remember you remember you as an infant?
I don't remember the ones I had as an infant.
Right.
My earliest one I remember was I was about 4 years old. And my mom always had one of these people. She's always rented haunted houses.
Yeah.
Always. And we had just moved in. We wasn't there no 3 days.
Oh, wow.
And I got up, something woke me up in the middle of the night, which isn't unusual for me. Everything wakes me up in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And I woke up. There was a weird guy on my foot of my bed sitting there. I get up, I go to my mom's room, and I tell this story often because it was part of my training. I
Right.
said, Mom, there's a weird guy at my room. Can I sleep with you? And she says, Oh, just tell him to go away. He'll go away. Now you get back in bed before you get a spanking.
Well, okay. That's not bad.
I didn't want a spanking, but I didn't want to go back to that room either.
Yeah, mine was slightly different. There was a young girl. She's got an old-fashioned name that starts with a J. I have a sporadic memory of my childhood, but I was on the Bozo show at 5, and she was playing with my Barbie doll car. But I've always talked to the spirits, so when my mom came in, she was scared poopless and said, "Susan, I told you to shut the car off." I said, "Mom, there's no batteries in the car. I put them on the dresser like you told me to." She looked at the Barbie doll car and she flipped it over and there was no batteries in it. She put it in the closet and ran out of the room. Oh, it's like, okay. It was Jenny or something. Used to call her Jen, but she had an old fashioned type name that started like with a J. And we used to just chill when we were kids.
Jen said Janelle.
It could have been, yeah. Old fashioned name. I just called her Jan. That's all I can actually remember. It was one of those old fashioned names. But that was like my youngest experience.
Yeah, I was
So,
about 5, the one I remember first.
yeah.
And Mom told me to go to bed before I got a whipping.
Yeah, my mom just kind of ran out of the room. So I talked to my grandmother more about that stuff. But over here, I think that's what got me kind of interested because I used to do a lot of investigations. You've heard of the Bridgewater Triangle documentary, correct?
I think so.
Yeah, that was Whaling City Ghosts. I was the lead psychic investigator of Whaling City Ghosts, and Luann Jolly is the founder of that. We were in the Bridgewater Triangle documentary about Anawan's Rock. That's the Native American rock where Anawan was actually killed. It was where their last stand was. Hello, Bianca. So that was their last stand over there. You know what I like about some paranormal is I like to get to know like the history, but I don't like to
Yeah.
get to know the history until I do the psychic reading on it and then find the history out. Like, I don't know what you have in your area, but down here on the East Coast, we have a river, a Acushnet River. Well, so it was like we would try the team, and again, it started with the team, and then I started doing it on my own, and we were trying to figure out why a lot of the businesses back in the day were having problems around the Acushnet River, like the old Acushnet sawmill that burnt down. A couple other places actually burnt down along that. So I went and to the town of Acushnet to try to find out what some of the history was. So I went and I looked, And so, evidently, from what I found out, the tribe that tribe that was in this area, part of the Wampanoag tribe, was called Acushna, not Acushnet, but Acushna. They were the Acushna tribe. So when the white man came, they actually thought they bought the land off of them. You can't buy the land off of them for buttons. So they're like, okay, free buttons, whatever, because it's not their land. And that's when they kind of chased them off of the land. So that's like when the war started over there with the Kushner tribe. So because the white man came, a lot of like the energy and the ley lines from the blood on the land that happened all over the place when they were like shooting them all, killing them, shooting them. A lot of the energy went kind of along the waterway in the river.
Right.
So right, the Acushnet sawmill, which was what was it, White's? I think it was called White's, burnt down several times. There were young kids in there and everything that got burnt. So literally going there and investigating there along where the riverbed used to be. It's not that, it doesn't run that way anymore. It just kind of stopped and went underground. But the riverbed used to run that way. So, you find out, it's going, you do a reading, and then I'm getting a lot of different type of energy, and you're getting, because it's different, I think, when you're a psychic versus an investigator. So getting all that energy, try to figure out, okay, why am I getting this little boy in the old clothes, and why are you getting like the Native American? You're getting all this. So you go back and you kind of research the history to it after. And I always do it after, beforehand. I don't know what you guys have in your area, but that's like real local here.
Local, I'm on the rock where the Rock River and the Mississippi River come together.
Yeah.
So I'm on both rivers. Matter of fact, the Rock River is like a half a block straight from me right now.
Oh, wow.
And the town I'm in, Rock Island, used to have tunnels underneath the town that come out on the Mississippi River on the banks,
Yep.
And they've been used for so much, like Underground Railroad,
Mm-hmm.
bootlegging, I figure maybe prostitution,
Probably.
because not only do they go from houses in that area in their basements, they also went from business to business.
Yeah.
And the best I could figure out originally, I'm not swearing on it, is Davenport's right across the river, Davenport, Iowa.
Yeah.
And they used to have wharves for shipping, docks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And stuff like that. Rock Island didn't. So what I figure is that the barges would come up on kind of on shore on the edge of the bank.
Yep.
They would unload the barges that was delivering stuff and take it to the businesses using that tunnel so they wasn't clogging the roads.
Yeah.
That used to happen along the Mississippi a lot.
Yeah, because it's a main fairway, so it's kind of like easier to distribute. So that's like it was off like the rivers this way, and it was off to the rivers.
Yeah, it was on through the bank. It was tunnels that they had dug from the bank of the Mississippi River
Yeah.
through town.
Wow. We have that here too.
And some of them collapsed, and you know how it is through time.
Yeah.
They've collapsed. They've been closed off, made, walled up.
Yeah.
You name it. But it was used for so many things. But the best I could figure is it started out as like a delivery tunnels. That's the word I'm looking for. Delivery tunnels for cargo on the barges instead of having to ship them to Davenport and then pulled back across the river.
Have you ever been in them or heard of like any activity down there?
I have not, but I'm pretty sure there is.
Yeah.
With so much that they were used for through the years.
Yeah.
But I am starting that podcast, about the local paranormal.
History, yeah. Local paranormal history. What's the name
Yeah.
of that again?
I don't have a name for that.
Ah, can't decide yet, huh?
I ain't decided yet. That starts in January,
Ah,
so I've got time.
yeah, we have, there's a lot of history around here, and again, I was very big into the, paranormal investigations. I used to have tons of EVPs and everything else. I don't even know what half my stuff is, and photos. Actually caught an awesome photo in Haven. Wish I could find that one. I don't know where it is, but it was a really awesome photo of like a gentleman. You could see his old fashioned like type of coat tattered, and the
Yeah.
face. You could see the whole coat. It was like a long coat. You could see the whole thing with the ruffles. The ruffles on the
Oh,
shirt.
yeah.
One of those, but you couldn't really see his face that well. You seen the coat more than anything. So it was pretty cool. That was a house in Fairhaven. And then Fort Rodman, I was in that one. Fort Rodman is really good. That's in New Bedford, and they used to have prisons underneath. Actually,
Oh, really?
prisons underneath Fort Rodman, yeah, because of Lizzie Borden.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was the original prisons down there. They were underneath the Fort Rodman. A lot of
Huh.
it's closed down right now. Yep, and then of course there's a Lizzie Borden house that she supposedly committed the murders in, was in that one, and then her other house that she was in, I forget the name of it, that house as well. So in this particular area alone, and then there's the Freetown State Forest.
Right.
So literally, it's like 20 minutes away from my house where they had all of those murders there. Also, the pet cemetery that was robbed. So the activity around
Did you
here
just say a
is
pet
massive.
cemetery that was robbed?
Yep, the pet cemetery. By what happens, there was an occult and there was a lot of murders, but they also took some of the pets out of the cemetery and robbed the pets out of the cemetery to use in some of their rituals.
Oh,
So
wow.
it wasn't just people, it was also part of the pets. So yeah, those were
That
all
is weird.
a lot of activity down here, a lot of negative activity. So then I wonder, I mean, guys, chime in anytime here. With all of that amount of negativity between what's happening, the occult and the negative energy, and all of this negativity that's around here, okay, I wonder if, because I read energy now, would the energy affect people that normally don't feel they're sensitive? Is that why certain areas that have like a lot of negative activity, would they have a lot of negative people? Even if the people don't feel they're feeling the energy, but from like the negative energy from the hauntings, especially when they're bad,
It could.
murders and all this. Yeah, I always wondered that. I
Well,
wonder how that affects people.
I believe when you live in negativity,
Yes,
you are going to be a negative person.
exactly.
It doesn't matter if the energy in a room is negative.
Hmm.
You can still beat that energy with positivity.
Exactly.
But then it comes to a point where you can no longer be positive and you feel like you're drowning in all the negative.
Yep.
So you're going to turn negative, and if I turned negative, it wouldn't be pretty.
I top that all off. We're on a bed of quartz crystal. Now,
Right,
quartz amplifies energy over here. So
right.
we're taking all of that energy from the Freetown State Forest. A lot of the houses around that area still have activity.
Huh.
Nonstop still have activity. Let's see. Miss Nikki says, sounds like it's definitely possible that the negativity is causing the issues from the negative haunt. So the houses around the Freetown Forest still have activity, still to this day, because there was a lot of them that the old team I belonged to, we went to those quite a bit.
Please forgive me. I'm hitting my gummy butterflies.
Okay. I got my coffee. Yeah, there was quite a bit of that. But I think it's like, and then on top of the activity around the Freetown Forest, then of course, right off to the side of that, we have the Anawan Rock. Then we have Profile Rock, which there were murders there as well. But then we also had part of the Underground Railroad. So part of the
Yeah,
houses over in Freetown, the old houses, they actually have the old root cellars that were hidden in order to hide um the people that were for slavery beforehand. They actually hid them there
right.
in some of those houses. I don't know why they were hiding in Freetown. That's the part. If supposedly all of the slavery came from the South and it wasn't up here, why were we hiding people in Freetown? That's my question. Why?
Here's the thing. Slavery wasn't just only in the South. They had
Exactly.
northern slaves,
Yep. Exactly.
and that Underground Railroad
Yep.
didn't stop at the Mason-Dixon line.
No, it didn't. There's also undergrounds over here, all over next to the port.
And it didn't stop
Nope.
west of Fort Smith.
Yep.
Because back then, Fort Smith would have been the line between civilization
Yep.
and the Wild West.
Exactly.
It didn't stop there. People would hit the Arkansas River. They wouldn't say, "Oh, we got away." It wasn't like that. They had to keep running
Yes.
and keep hiding.
Yes. And that's what makes no sense. It's like everybody wants to play the blame game. Okay, we didn't do it, they did it. And they said we didn't do it, they did it. So it's always the blame game. And it's like, as far as history, even like regular history, I think that's why paranormal in certain areas really do help, especially the type of teams that are in there and they're getting to know the land and they're trying to find out the history of what happened, whether it's a house or part of the land. You're just literally digging into that.
Okay, I had a
No,
question the other day given to me
but
by a friend. They knew of a haunted house here in the area
yeah,
that just now burnt down to the ground.
wow,
I mean, within the last 2 weeks.
wow.
And their question, and anybody can answer it, was with the house gone, does that mean the ghosts are gone?
No,
Because no, because even though the house is gone, now the ghosts are tied to the land and not the house.
exactly.
That's
I
what
agree
I
with that. I have to agree with that. I really do feel that the spirits and the energy of the spirits are always tied to the land.
And then
But
you get these, they're what am I thinking of? They're like a house's memory. They're not the intelligent taunts, they're the other.
oh God, I'm having a brain fart.
But you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, but I'm having a
It's,
bloody brain fart.
it's
Yeah.
like a memory that plays over and over again. So,
Residual loops.
residual.
Yes.
They may be intelligent haunts, and they may answer your questions and everything.
Right.
But in their time and in their mind, that house is still there.
Exactly.
It's what they know.
Exactly. They might be seeing things differently. Like we talk about like timelines as well. Like there are, and again, I'm not a true believer in there are so many different timelines, and sometimes our timelines kind of intermingle where you
Yeah,
see people that say, okay, that, like say, we'll say that's McDonald's, right? And then all of a sudden he comes back the next day and it's like Burger Chef and Jeff. And it's like, how did the name change? And then he turns around, comes back again, and it's back to the McDonald's. And you hear about these stories all the time with these individuals. So there's timelines crossing. So they have like the memories. Certain spirits have like the memories of their particular time.
right. And
Yeah.
that's just like you hear or you see, spirits walking around a house or a building,
Yeah.
and they disappear through a wall.
Mm-hmm.
In their time, that wasn't a wall; that was a doorway.
Exactly. A lot of people say, "Oh my god, it went there." No, it's because houses do get remodeled all the time. There was another house in Lakeville that was close to that. One of the spirits that were around there literally would just where she had the mudroom there. The mudroom wasn't there before. So literally you could see like the ghost going and using one of those old-fashioned pumps.
Yeah,
So yeah, and that's what I really enjoy about that, because you go and you look as far as my aspect. Oh, that's my kid. As far as the way that I do things, I'm different. I do the psychic work first with the team, and then we dig up the history.
right.
Excuse me, because I like to see if it matches. That's the way that I used to do it. I wanted to see if it actually matched, but finding out the actual history is to me is really important, because what if you have a negative haunt and you all you have is the house was actually built on Native American burial ground. Well, that's going to be a negative haunt, because they're pissed off you're on their land. That's sacred land to the Native Americans.
I don't think it's always a negative haunt.
No,
Like,
but if it was, and you're deep down deep looking for the history, and that comes
yeah,
up in the history. Okay,
because,
they're pissed off. Yeah.
because you can run across where like a tribe is attached to the land,
Yeah.
but their emotions at the time that they were here was so far up. Maybe it was a wedding or the birth of a baby
Yeah.
or something like
Yeah.
that. Then you're also going to encounter their positive energy as well.
Exactly. I believe that how people are in life is how they are in death. So if they're a cranky person, they're going to be cranky in spirit as well. So yeah, I mean, there's good and bad in everybody, even in the energy of the land. So
Now, my mom, when my sister Kathy was a baby, she's 3 years older than I am.
right.
She was born in 70. I was born March of 70, and I was born November of 72. So about 2.5, 3 years older. And when she was about a year and a half old, Mom went out on the porch waiting for my dad to get home.
Yeah.
And they lived in an area of town that used to be what they called row houses.
I'm thinking fishing boat row,
No, it's
like a line of houses.
yes, like in Boston where they're attached, but
Yeah.
they're individual homes. Row
Okay. Yep.
houses.
All right.
And she said she was watching this woman across the street. The houses had been long torn down because that was the 70s.
Right.
And she was dressed like it was the 30s, late 30s, early 40s. And she said you could see that woman walk down the street, down the sidewalk, and make a precise right turn like she was still on the sidewalk. And she got to about to where it'd be like the third house in,
Yeah.
went up some stairs, unlocked the door, opened it, and walked in and shut the door, and you never seen her again.
Wow. Yep. Yep, that's Nikki. She says, "What I come across all the time, how the person is in life, cranky or happy, is how they are in spirit." Yeah, agree. I definitely agree.
Yeah, I think when sometimes, like in wartime, like with your Indian wars, or let's take Gettysburg,
Yes,
right?
that's another one. There was a lot of negative energy because of the war, the Gettysburg.
The thing is that them men in Gettysburg wasn't exactly mean or cranky.
No.
They were scared out of their mind and didn't know how to handle it,
Yep.
which made them negative.
Yeah.
In real life, outside of the war, they may not have been negative.
Oh, yeah, exactly. It's like, to me, that's something I like to call blood on the land. So it's not the actual spirits or energy that create the negativity. It's the blood on the land, the memory of the earth, or in my case, the earth and the quartz crystal amplifying the negativity of the war or of the murders is what happens. That's what's creating the negativity more than the actual spirits
I
that are
mean,
on it.
right. If you think about it,
Yeah.
if you're scared out of your mind and you're trying to figure out how in the world to get out of that situation,
Yep.
well, times one of them times where men would have to try to figure out, okay, I'm stuck here
Right.
in this spot. I've got all these other men shooting at me. How am I going to get out of here? I've got 10 musket balls left.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I call that an oh shit moment.
Yeah.
Through no making of their own, they find themselves in that moment.
I agree. I really believe it's the land itself that creates a memory of events that create, like, say if there's a land where there was a massive massacre,
Right.
okay, that energy is going to create, if there is another spirit that comes in and passes on that, it's like the energy of the land is going to affect, like, the spirit and the individuals on it. I'm just a big
Right.
person into energy, and I truly believe that. Hello, Michelle. So, yep. Michelle says hello. So,
I can't see the little writing as well. And I don't know how to blow it up, guys. I
oh,
am really tech stupid.
I just put it on the bottom. It says Michelle said hello.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Ed Odell says, I'm here. Yeah. So, and then we have Miss Bianca. Oh, there we go. So, and then we had Miss Nikki over here as well. Oh, sorry, gonna hide that one. So if you got to think about it. A lot of people like different areas, like the quartz bed that's in this particular area underneath, like the East Coast. I don't know about your area. I just know
Oh,
that we've
I don't
actually
know.
researched it. The quartz bed that's under the earth. It's creates, like, because quartz amplifies. If you think of crystals, quartz crystal amplifies energy. So I'm thinking that with all of everything that's happening, if, like, say, the massacre and the murder, like at Anawan Rock, now it depends who goes there too. If a paranormal team is coming in and they're trying to provoke the spirits, they're going to get the negativity. Now, if a paranormal team is going in and they're just trying to communicate or do something more positive to find out their side of the story, it's going to come out differently. So it also
Yeah,
depends, I think, on the investigators themselves and how they act and react.
that could be too.
Yeah.
Because I am not a paranormal investigator. You know that. I
Mm.
think I've been on two in my whole life, and that was at Williamsport.
Oh, was it? Did you
Yeah.
enjoy it?
The first one I was with Jennifer Melton when her and Andy had a team together.
Wow.
And I investigated with them guys. Well, Jennifer was channeling a woman,
Yeah.
and I was off by my side. They were more interested in what she was channeling.
Right.
And I had this urge, sit down on the floor and come eye to eye with something.
Right.
Because the story behind that was there were children involved, like it had caught fire or something. There was children involved and they died, and then the house mother died because they dormed in the factory.
Yeah. A lot of factory fires, yeah.
And I sat down on the floor and I seen this redheaded little girl. You know, she was just being a little girl. She had pulled on my shirt, got my attention, and I sat down on the floor. And she was talking to me. And then they said, "Oh, well, come feel what Jennifer's feeling." And I felt the woman.
Yeah.
But then I went back to where the little girl was, and a bat whacked me in the shoulder.
That's cute. I don't know what it is about redheads, I'll tell you that much. Because my ghost was kind of like strawberry blonde hair, so it was slightly red. My spirit back in the day. But
Right.
yeah,
Well, this little girl, she was like, I got the feeling, because that's Pennsylvania too.
yeah. Yep. Yep. There was a house I went to in Pennsylvania.
And I got the feeling with this little girl, she was not born here in America. She was born Scotland or Ireland because they both
Yeah.
had the red hair.
Yep.
And her and her mother and father migrated to the United States.
Yeah. Could have been during the Great Potato Famine.
She did not. She was not born here in the States.
Yeah. Huh.
But yeah, I mean, I just sat there and she was just happy somebody noticed her.
It must be pretty lonely being a spirit. It really must be.
Especially when you're a child.
Yeah,
It would be confusing, I think.
I think so too. I think my biggest advice for anybody that is having a haunting an issue is definitely trace the history of your land. Try to get a geological survey to find out what's underneath your house, because you figure, like, if you have quartz, or say you have like tourmaline or obsidian, or if you have like crystal bed, or you have certain materials underneath like limestone, these things are going to create issues with the energy, and energy would affect you as well. So,
And
it's yeah,
always remember when you're doing history on a house, if you encounter an honest child spirit,
yeah,
they may not have passed away or even had anything to do with your house. Your house could have been the first safe place that they had found after they died.
it's true too. That's very true too, because some spirits are just doomed to kind of wander the earth.
And the kid, if you're a child, imagine waking up 5 years old by yourself and you can't find anybody you know.
Yeah, I agree with that. Now, as far as history, I usually go to you have to go to the archives of most places. There's one archive in the city in the library, but then there's a couple historic places where you have to call, do a viewing, and they really do know a lot of the history if you want to go in there and find out the history of particular places. But also definitely get a geological survey to find out what's underneath your house.
Yeah.
Limestone and quartz, heck.
And always remember, depending on the size of your town,
Mm,
a lot of smaller towns have town historians
yes, they do.
and they collect articles and
Yep,
they collect names.
yep. Yeah, they
I
do.
mean, they collect so much in their head and they can tell you in the library where to find it.
Yeah, yep. There's one section that holds all the ancient information. You make an appointment to go in, and they bring you the books, and the books have to be read right there. So you have to actually take notes. I
Yeah.
mean, some of the pages are very, very old. when you flip them. But finding out that information is to me, it's amazing, because say if it's not a haunting, what if it's just the individual that's actually feeling the energy from where they are? That could be presumed a paranormal haunt when it's not, because
Right.
they could be more sensitive than they're aware of. And a lot of individuals, because of the awakening, they're starting to wake up more and more. So because they're waking up so much, their energy level changes. So depending on where you are and what the energy is, it's always good to find those things out.
I agree.
So, yeah.
And always remember, sometimes that energy, it could be like a false reading with the electrical stuff that goes on in your house,
Yes.
especially if your house is older and it has electrical, I call them leaks.
Yep.
Like you've got some of that ball and tube wiring that's still hooked
Yep.
up.
Yep. The electromagnetic pulse. There's a couple of times where people think there's actually activity. It's not the K2, it was the EMF reader.
Yeah.
When it goes skyrocketed, people can actually feel like they are having activity when it's actually the electrical output in the house. Tongue died. Output in the house that actually affects it, and that's also not good for your health.
No, and it sometimes
Yeah.
it may be in one area and not in another area. You know, it could be like in your attic or your basement, wherever your box is.
Hmm.
That's stronger than, let's say, the kitchen and a bathroom.
Oh, okay. That was just a comment to Nikki. So, and that was, hey, Angel, I'm working, trying to keep up with the comments. Yeah. Well, thank you for watching from work. But yeah, there's a lot of activity. But for people that do have to deal with activity on a regular basis and they are as sensitive, I mean, it's really very important you guys sage. I mean, I don't know about you,
Yeah.
but saging your house, saging yourself. It's very important that you do that on a regular basis. I mean,
And
it's
it's
going to help
also
balance the energy. Bells. How do you feel about bells? Bells are amazing things to actually keep up.
bells on your doors are always important.
Yep.
My grandpa used to say, put bells on your door, it keeps the haints away.
The hates.
Haints, Hants, haunts,
Oh, okay.
the ghost, however
Yep.
you want to put it, keeps the haints away.
Nikki says knob and tube wiring throughout old houses. Yep, that's what it's called. Had to deal with that in different sections of a house I lived in. Made things interesting at times. Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yes, it actually does. And let's see, Michelle says, yes, sagging is great. Love bells. Oh, saging. Yes, saging. That's the sagging. Yes, it is. Um, I
But
do like the bells on every door, bells in the windows, because I don't know why. I've never been able to figure out the logistics of it, but bells do keep them away. I like the cowbells, like the old copper bells, hard to find now, the copper sound ones. Those are
yeah,
really hard to find. Those to me are
well,
the best.
they are not supposed to like that sound.
Who isn't?
The spirits,
Yeah,
they
but why?
negative spirits, they don't like the sound
Yeah.
because bells are associated with church
Uh,
or
okay.
religion.
Yeah.
You know, like
Well, a lot of religions, yeah. That's right, because if somebody's a Wiccan, they always have a bell. If somebody's in church, they have a bell. Whether it's Christian, Catholic, everybody has a bell. Wow, that's right. You're true. That's right. Everybody
and
needs
then
a bell.
I don't get it, but people do it. Is painting their front door blue.
Blue.
Is supposed to have the same effect. It keeps the negative spirits out.
Huh. Blue.
Something about the blue, like the sky, they can't see it. So it does not exist as a threshold.
I heard green, but that's many years ago. Let's see. Michelle says I like a string of bells on the inside of my front door. My dog knows to hit the bells with his paw when he wants to go out. Wow, that's pretty cool.
My banjo used to do that. Now he's like, I'm gonna lay on your foot until you let me out.
No, Otis is more yeah, I really like that. The bells on the door with the dog. My dog Otis, he's more into who's going to the kitchen and what can I have. That's my dog. I don't have. Yes, that's the other thing. Welcome mats. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. And I don't have a welcome mat or a welcome sign because you can welcome in negativity. I
Yeah,
agree with that as well. I don't have anything that says welcome on my front door, in my house, on a sign. Nothing ever says welcome. And what is Nikki? Nikki's never heard of a color info in spirits. Yeah, I mean, I heard green. She heard blue, but I don't know.
look, see, it's like
You never know.
you know the blue bottle tree. I call them blue bottle trees.
Blue bottle trees.
Yeah, it's a Cajun thing. You put blue glass bottles tied to a tree
Oh, I've
all
seen
over
that.
the tree, and
That's
that's
right.
supposed to keep the negative away.
Yeah, because they chime.
Yeah,
That's
sometimes
right.
they chime, or it's like when you rub a glass bowl with water. You put water on your finger
Yeah.
and you rub it, and it makes that music.
Yeah, if it's real lead crystal, yeah.
But older bottles are real lead bottles. They're
That's
lead glass,
right. That's
leaded glass.
right.
So,
Wow.
like if they got wet and the wind blew across it, it would make a whistle sound.
Huh. I never thought of that. I mean, I've seen it in movies and I've heard a couple things, but I've never really understood the logistics of it. But that goes hand in hand with like the old wise tales and stuff. Like my
Well,
grandmother and mother always had wind chimes almost in every freaking window.
yeah. Well, the bottle trees, like I said, that's what I call them. That's not what
Yeah.
they're called.
Yeah, I know what you're
But,
talking about, the trees with the bottles that are actually tied.
but it is a hoodoo thing down there.
Yeah,
So it's more of a religious thing, but it keeps the bad negative energy away.
the bad juju. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. I mean, think of going back to the bells, I just thought of something. Maybe that's why a lot of businesses had bells over their door. That way, when somebody entered, the bell rang and it was positive energy coming in. Let's see. What is Nikki saying? Nikki says, I've heard that blue bottles hanging from the tree. But for birds, fascinating. Never thought of it regarding spirits. Spirits, really cool, she says. Yeah, because that's
That,
huh?
that's the kind of paranormal I follow.
Yeah,
Not so much the investigation. I'd love to get into investigation because I believe everybody has a story to tell,
exactly.
even the spirits.
It does. I figure because this podcast was built to help other people, but if other people understand that they're not alone, especially in their paranormal experiences or what it is they're experiencing, or maybe there's a logical explanation, like your power lines, your electricity, or things they can actually do to help their situation, then it does help.
Yeah,
That's the way I look at it. It really does help.
you got to check out all your possibilities.
Exactly.
I mean, you just don't automatically go to paranormal,
Yeah. It just
you
it
know.
could be just about anything. Sometimes the EMF off of an old microwave can actually cause you to see things that aren't actually there
Yeah.
because the electrical impulse that's experting from that creates something. One house I did, it was their fish tank that was causing the whole thing. Their fish tank was
Really?
throwing off tons and tons of EMF. It was like
Wow.
yeah, really, really old wiring in that. So sometimes it's like, yeah, you got to look at certain things and certain things you can do to help.
And always inspect your wiring because not only could it cause EMF,
Yeah.
bad old wiring causes fires.
Yeah, it does.
Fires cause death, and death causes ghosts.
That's right.
Dump a
Because we had
ghost.
a lot of the houses over here still had like the paper wiring running through it, and the landlord would just update the outlets, and that's it.
Yeah,
That's why there were a lot of fires here, because they would update the outlets and put a grounding wire, but they wouldn't pull the actual paper tube wire through and replace the actual wiring through the whole house.
right.
Yeah, they wouldn't do that.
Now, I don't know how you was taught. A lot of my teachings came from my grandfather on things. And he was a conspiracy theorist, so he came up with some pretty wild crap.
Ah,
But Native Americans in Texas
yep.
taught him that if you have a house fire, you do not rebuild on the exact same spot.
Hmm.
You take that house, you're going to rebuild and move it an inch. You're not in the same spot. Your house won't catch fire again.
Creating new energy rather than
Exactly.
rebuilding off the old energy. That actually does make sense.
Just move your foundation and everything an inch. That's all you got to do is get it off that spot.
That makes a lot of sense because everything is energy.
Yeah.
That really does. Huh.
I had a friend, her house burnt down 3 times when she was a kid
Wow.
within 2 years of each other. Like it burnt down, then 2 years later, after they rebuilt, it burnt down again. Then 2 years after they rebuilt, it burnt down again, like that.
Wow.
Come to find out, they were building in the exact same spot.
Wow.
And I told her dad, I said, why don't you move it an inch to the left or an inch to the right?
Yeah.
He goes, oh. I said, get it off that site and it won't catch down again. Now,
Wow.
30 years later, they've never had a problem with fires again.
Yeah, that really does make sense. It really does, because I'm the type of person that, like, everything I see has to do with energy and the energy around it. So if you're rebuilding off of negative energy, then that would make sense, because if you move it over, then you're creating a new force. Ryan says hello, and
Ryan,
Miss Nikki says, "Oh wow, extremely dangerous to do that. Growing up around grandfather." Who remodeled homes learned from him. Oh, she's talking about the wiring. Never connect old to new wiring. Too
oh
dangerous.
no, that'll
Yeah,
cause fires.
yeah, yeah. It does. It does create fires, and a lot of the landlords are trying to cheap out. A lot of them are. So it does. It creates an issue for a lot of people. So I
I
think the
mean,
hardest thing about all of this is trying to maintain positivity and not feed into the negativity of the situation.
yes, but you gotta, like I told you, like I told everybody, just walk
Yeah.
up. You've got to figure out how to balance your negative and your positive, or else you're gonna feel like you're drowning in negative.
That's true. That's very true. It's very hard, especially when people are living around negativity on a regular basis. It's very hard for them to not follow along with it. It really
Well,
is.
that's like you get a family, right?
Yeah,
And they got this child, let's say, with ADHD.
right.
I mean, they don't have to exactly have anything wrong with them, but you'll hear one of their parents, "What are you, stupid?" And you hear enough of that
Mm,
as a child and growing up, you're actually going to believe you're stupid.
that's very true.
And that's
Very, very true.
what living in negativity all the time is like.
You know what? I think next week we should talk about I'll do some research on it. Talk about the of effects of what it is that you were just talking about, growing up a certain way and trying to sidetrack it and grow. So I exactly know the name for it, but trying to deal with childhood trauma and not become that particular situation. I can't think of the name of it, but I got the general idea of it.
Oh, I
Yeah,
grew up in childhood trauma, and I do have problems staying out of
yeah.
that frame of mind. I do.
See, you would have the personal experience for that.
It sucks. I
Yeah,
don't like having to keep that balance sometimes. But you know me, Susan, I try my damnedest to stay positive.
yeah. Sometimes it's like when somebody's going through something like what you went through as a child. It's we can get into this more next week. It's what it is, form of shadow work. Thank you, Nikki. I couldn't think of the name. It's like I'm sitting here trying to come up with it. And dealing with your inner child is a form of shadow work. Yes. So
Yeah.
that's what we can get into is like shadow work next week. We can
Well,
get
when
into
you come
stuff like that.
across, when
Huh?
a child comes across someone that's been there, they've done
Yeah.
that. They've gone through the whole
The healing
trip.
process.
Well, no, not exactly. You never heal from that.
No, but you
Your inner
heal
child does not
yourself
heal.
more than your situations.
Yes, you get yourself out of that situation.
Exactly.
And when you do, your negative and your positive
Yeah.
comes back into balance.
Exactly. And that's the biggest thing is trying to balance these things out. Nikki's laughing at me because I couldn't think of the name of it. Oh my God. Guess what, guys? It's 10:30. And my neighbors will kill me if I don't sign off soon. So it's 10:30 over here on the East Coast. So I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. And I'm Sue, and we'll be here like every Thursday, and we'll come up with different topics and subjects and, you know, all kinds of stuff. You ever got a topic or something you need me to research? Let me know.
I'm Renee, and y'all have a good night, guys. Oh, one more thing.
Yes.
Ace Frehley on Kiss died today.
Yeah, I heard that. Oh, there is something else. If the government continues to stay shut down and you do have to have food stamps to survive, confirm them. That card won't be shut down, but you might not be getting any for November. So be very careful. Don't go hog wild. Don't stock up. Just conserve. That's all I can tell you. So, all
Do
right.
the best you can with what you got, guys. Sorry.
That's right. Spaghetti forever.
Oatmeal.
There you go. Cream of wheat.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I love a cream of wheat.
I can't stand cream of wheat.
My
We
mother was
were
oat milk.
hungry as kids, and that's
Yeah.
all Mom was able to feed us was cream of wheat and pure cane syrup
Oh, wow. I'm a cream of wheat
every day.
like my dad. My mother was oatmeal. So, but yeah, much love and respect. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Peace out. We'll be here again. And don't worry, we're going to get into our groove and we're going to find our niche and we're just going to keep going because she's very easy to talk to. And I do enjoy having you as a co host. I think you're very easy to talk to, and I really needed that.
Oh, thank
So,
you.
thank
I
you for
try to keep it
joining.
positive, but it's hard.
Yep, you know what? It's hard with me too. I'm like my own worst enemy half the time.
And we
I'm
just
going to
gotta
tell
find
myself
our
things.
own little trail, guy.
All right, I'm going out to smoke, guys. Peace. Peace. See you next week.